Edison International Model School, 11th grade, 25/11/2020, قاسم شطناوي. The object today is to do exercise 7 on page 25 and exercise 8 on page 26 in the activity book. Now, let's go to our activity book, page 25, and see the questions. The questions are, if we want to answer them, we must read the article or the text about basketball. The last lesson we read this text about basketball, and today we will answer them. Now, if you like, we can read it, and I think it is suitable to read it quickly. Now, let me read it and follow me while I'm reading. Basketball nowadays has become one of the world's most popular sports. In fact, it was invented in 1891 CE in Springfield, Massachusetts, USA, by the Canadian teacher Dr. James Naismith. He wanted to create a sport that his students could play indoors during the cold months of winter. The first basketball game consisted of two teams of 9 players each. They had to pass a football from one end of the room to the other and throw it into the wicker basket that was attached to the wall at either end. Every time the ball was thrown into a basket and a point was scored, a player had to climb a ladder to get the ball back. It wasn't until the year 1906 CE that metal hoops, nets, and backboards were introduced, and basketball became the sport as we know it now. Basketball spread to many countries around the world after it became an official Olympic event at the Berlin Games in 1936 CE. Basketball in Jordan dates back to the year 1937 CE. The kingdom took part in the Olympic Games for the first time in 1980 CE, and since then it has been sending athletes each year to compete in the Summer Olympic Games. The Jordan national basketball team is the official basketball team in Jordan. Major efforts are being made to improve basketball in Jordan, especially now that the national team has been participating in many Arab and Middle East basketball competitions. Okay, now let's go to question number 1. What was the reason for the invention of the first version of basketball? ايش السبب؟ راح اجاوبه، انتوا اكيد حاولتوا بس راح اجاوبه. Number one is Dr. Dr. James Dr. James wanted Dr. James wanted to create a sport that his students could play indoors indoors in winter. Number 2. What happened after basketball became an Olympic sport in 1936 CE? It spread to many countries around the world. 3. What improvement in basketball in Jordan are being made at the moment? The national team has been participating in many Arab and Middle East basketball competitions. Yes. In number 4, do you play basketball? ممكن أقول no, I don't. بصير واحد يقول yes. Do you enjoy playing or watching the game? Yes, I enjoy watching the game. Because I see that it طبعا the game that it is a kind of art. يلا بلاش capital of art، يعني هي نوع من أنواع الفن. وطبعا مواصفات لو بدنا نكتب a player must has some descriptions like strong body, clever person, and so on. Now let me go back to the first sentence. Dr. James wanted to create a sport that his students could play indoors in winter. Now, Dr. James, who is a teacher, saw that there's a problem. Even in winter, there's a problem for the students where they can play. إذا في عندنا where can they, the boys, play? This is a question. And what sport or which sport can they play? These two questions are very important. Dr. James, who's a teacher, thought about this problem. In winter, which sport can they play and where they can play the sport. For that, if they want to go swimming, it's called. If they go to horse riding, it's called. To play football, it's called. To play tennis, it's called, and so on. For that, he thought that there must be a kind of sport that we can do it indoors. For that, he create basketball game. And let's say because it is the first, the first edition, النسخة الأولى, he said we must have two teams, and each team, as the passage said, each team has 9 players, and he put the rules, وضع القواعد بلاش يلعبوا, because it is a good thing. Now look, now the Ministry of Education in general and our school in specific, بشكل خاص يعني مدرستنا, we have a problem. We have COVID-19. For that, the ministry and our school looked for a kind of learning. For that, they create and chose to learn through what they called التعليم عن بعد, المنصات. والمنصات حلت مشكلة. الآن مين أحسن يا هل ترى إنه إحنا نتعلم ونأخذ معلومات. بجوز واحد يقول لي يا أستاذ والله في فرق بين الصف وجها لوجه مع الأستاذ والأنشطة، وفي فرق بين إنه إحنا نتعلم عن بعد. ونقول يا أخي إذا الآن ما توفرناش الشيء اللي إحنا بدنا إياه 100%، ما نقبلش بال30 40 50%. يعني هيئة الآن إحنا قرأنا امبارح القطعة وحلينا الأسئلة، ما قدرناش نحصل على المعلومة بنسبة 70 80%. يا أخي أحسن من البلاش. For that, I hope you get useful from this point exactly. It means here I want you. This is a good point. No, sorry. Here, this is a good point. That, a good point. Which is the good point? A good point. If we have a problem, we must think about how to solve this problem, or to put an alternative thing. نحط بديل. هيك نكون احنا يعني ما استطعناش نعمل تمرين 8. كفي اليوم. Thank you and see you later. Thank you.